Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery in our video studio today. I wanted to tell you about the Shibuya Ultima CP Pro compound bow sight. So it's going to come in this handy carrying case right here. I've taken some parts out already, but you open it up and this is going to be your sight. Tapes and other hardware will be in here as well, but this is the sight. I should mention that it is the sight only, so you're going to still need to add a scope and a 1032 threaded scope rod. That's what this receives right here, so those you'll have to acquire separately. But the Shibuya Ultima CP Pro is pretty unique design here at the carbon bar end. I should mention what I have here is the 6-inch version. There's a 9-inch bar version as well. And this one's orange. There's several colors. So you can see all the different options on our website. But Shibuya has one of the more unique rod systems here, the sight rod. So this is going to be our mounting block. This is what you're going to connect to the bow. You've got your hardware and your Allen wrenches in there. But the bar, as we mentioned, this triangular shaped piece off the back kind of makes it look like, I don't know, kind of like a W sort of. What that does is when I mount this into the receiver is it just prevents any kind of movement once this is locked into place. What we don't want to have is any flexing forward or back of this sight arm. And this piece here, that just prevents it from doing that. So pretty unique system there from Shibuya. And then also unique is are these discs that are cut out in the front. That's what allows me to change the positions. And when you loosen it just enough that this can slide, you can feel it kind of click into place. Once you get it just right, you can just feel your way to each one of those discs so that you know that you are locking it down exactly on top of that. One of the issues with some carbon bar sights is they tend to lock from the top here, and then what happens is if you're not dead center in the groove, you start to wear a wider groove in there. Obviously that's not good because you want this sight to be set in the exact same position over and over. These circles allow that to happen because it can only clamp down when it is directly over top one of those circles. You feel your way in, it locks into place, and then I just screw it down. And that handle, that's pretty nice too, that knob right there. But coming down to the sight, we've got a lot of features that we expect on a compound target sight. First, you're going to have your first axis adjustment right here, and by loosening these I can take my elevation bar and I'm going to be able to adjust it this way. Obviously I want it perfectly vertical so I know that my scope block is going straight up and straight down. So that's the first axis adjustment. Coming around here to the second axis, you can see these grooves so that you can access the screws. One screw there, one screw there. And what that's going to do is it's going to take this scope block only and it's going to adjust it this way. So we're going to get it level. Only this is going to move, not the elevation bar. Just the scope block is going to pivot this way. Lastly, underneath, we're going to have these two screws. That's for my third axis. As we know, third axis is going to adjust my scope this way. So you can get the Ultima CP Pro perfectly level. Now, a couple cool things here. First off, standard adjustments in terms of elevation. I'm going to have my micro adjust knob here. You can see that I'm moving the block down. There's my sight scale indicator right there. One of the things that I like is inside the knob here, you can see they have written up, turn one way, down, turn the other way. I often forget, not so much with the elevation, that's not a big deal, it's more the windage. They have the same thing inside, it says in or out. In on a right-handed sight is going to be to the right, out is going to be to the left. So I like that. You know, we're going to watch where we connect our scope rod right there. You can see I am turning it. That would be out. You can see it extending. Turn it the other way, and it is coming in, which is to the right. So I like having those indicators in there because I always forget which is in and which is out. Now, along with our adjustments, we have rapid travel right here. Press on that button, and I can slide my sight up and down the bar. I can move it quickly. I won't need to go from 20 to 60. Bang, I can slide that down. And what I like is the precision that I feel when I press in on this button. Sometimes when you do that on these target sites, once you press in on the rapid travel, you can feel a lot of play in it. There's no play in this. It can only move up and down. It doesn't pivot left and right. There's no slop in it at all. Releasing this just allows that whole block to move up and down quickly. Before we move on to some other features, I want to show you these 3 lines right here. So these are going to be my macro windage adjustments. If I find that I'm running out of left or right adjustment with my micro, I can move the whole block left or right. That's going to come into play because some of the risers have different thicknesses today. So I might just have to move this whole block one way or the other in order to get enough windage adjustment. So I can do that with those 3 mounting positions. You can see my lines there. Sight scales, that's going to be important. We are going to have the standard numbered sight scale on this side. This is one that you would use in conjunction with a computer program that's going to translate these numbers into yardages on your paper, and then you're just going to move your sight according to what your paper tells you to do. On the other side, we are going to have a movable sight scale. You can see this tape in here is black. This is going to be my setup tape. And what I'm going to do is replace it with one of these once I figure out which one. And before I get to that, let's talk about, I've got a Phillips head screw here, so I can move this sight position up or down, and it sits flush. That is a recessed cavity that the sight tape sits in so that it is flush with the sight body, which is nice. Just have it recessed down there. Again, this is my indicator, and you can see my screw there, so I can adjust that, get that indicator exactly where I need it. To the sight tapes, as I mentioned, in the pack, you are going to get 7 physical sight tapes. They're double-sided, so you actually get 14. And they all go out to 100 yards. So those, obviously, you can see the difference in the lengths here where the 100 is. That pertains to arrow speed. So number 1 is going to be a lot faster than number 13. My arrow speed's much faster here than it is here. Once you're doing your calibrations, you're going to figure out which one of those 14 sight tapes you're going to mount onto your sight there. All right, that is the Shibuya Ultima CP Pro compound bow sight. Great target sight from the folks at Shibuya. Again, if you want to see all the different options, colors, lengths, right hand, left hand, we do have that as well. Be sure to click the link in the description below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. As always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at lancasterarchery.com.